So, welcome back from the short break. I know it's always taking some time to rearrange all the different computers. And yeah, I'm very happy to have Alex here today. We only met for the first time a few weeks ago, but I think the work he does on AI is very interesting in his company on AI, on healthcare, AI and defense, and so forth. And he will share some of his insights with us, and the floor is yours.
The stage is on. Thanks, everybody. It's been a while since I've been presenting in a university. So a bit to myself, I used to also program myself on C++. I found fast enough that I'm really shitty in it. So I changed to building my own company. And Alpha AI that I'll be presenting today is not the first company. I had a couple of milestones in my life. I've built with two other co-founders during my studies. My first startup, it was the first worldwide voice over IP client for Android before the first Android telephone was on the market. We had a fast exit, and after that, I had a couple of AI companies basically only developing software for other companies. After that, I was head of AI in the second biggest European company for industrial tech. And since the COVID, I founded the Alpha AI with the goal to bring AI into health and to provide a seamless AI fitness coach for everybody at home. So a small introduction. I'm just warning you at the beginning, I will not do a basic presentation as you're probably used to. I'm going like berserk right now. So everything was what I had in my mind. I would just like present and hope that it sits somewhere and helps you. So we'll introduce ourselves, go over the couple of use cases where we use AI basically in our company at this moment, and have a small business case which I'll like to show you of one of our products. And then afterwards, I would love to hear questions and hope I can answer everything. Right. So basically to us, we are a small company, around about over 20 people at this moment. The most of them are in Munich, but also have workers in Barcelona and England, and having different solutions right now, our own products. Amongst our customers is a city of Munich. BMW is not here, I see, but we also had BMW as a customer. And probably one of the biggest ones is Infineon, providing some semiconductor stuff, not knowing what they're actually doing. So, right. So most of us know AI as something which you put in ChatGPT to help you with your homework or with if you find some kind of illness before you go to the doctor. So that's what we actually are using as people. But we at Alpha AI are more focused on computer vision. And this is something where I think we are doing pretty good right now at the moment, providing computer vision to a mobile device. So at the beginning, we were thinking a bit to business logic, like we usually do in Germany, right? Counting where we can help and where we can save a lot of money. So as I work in the biggest company or in the second biggest company in Europe, me and my partner, that's actually my CDO, Francisco, we had done some math, trying to understand how much people are getting ill during their sitting in the wrong position and trying to provide a solution for that. The first stone where we broke our teeth on was GDPR. So nobody wants to have AI with computer vision in front of the desk helping them. So basically that was a flop, but it was a very good experience for us all. And there we start actually with our product, Alpha AI Coach. The idea was to provide a mobile app that is watching over your exercises and tells you what you're doing wrong and right, and how can it improve your fitness. So basically what you do, you place your device in front of you and you have computer vision running on the device locally without any internet connection in real time and checking your every and each movement. So that was our first product. It has evolved since then, but we have provided also an AI fitness test with not only understanding of your movement, but of your actual physical condition at the moment to understand you where you grow from which point to which you want to grow, and adding some stuff like an AI meal scanner, which you probably already heard of. What we're actually doing, so we are basically tracking over 20 points on the body in real time on a mobile device and providing a physical signature of your body right now and comparing them to the right exercise executions and understanding what you're doing wrong and how can you improve yourself. Right. Based on that technology, we had a couple of pivots. So for the physiotherapy, we've also provided a solution which provides physiotherapists with an overview how somebody after a surgery is improving their body movement. And also we have provided a solution that's a Romberg test. I don't know if anybody has heard of a Romberg test, but basically if you have seen The Simpsons where Homer is being pulled over for drunk driving and he has to put his finger on the nose and raise one of the legs, and then the second one, that's the Romberg test. We've done it because the second biggest cause of death in Germany is actually people falling down. Might sound stupid, right? But it's not always because people are driving drunk or are being drunk on a ladder. But basically, in a certain age, people lose their stabilization. And in order to understand how stable someone is, there are a couple of tests. And then we went further, like we thought, okay, what can we do with our technology? There are like so many sweet and good stuff, but we can do that. And we have tried to analyze where we can add our technology best to create the biggest momentum. And everybody has heard if you want to have a good business connection, you should go play golf. So me and my CDO, we were like sucked at golf very much. And we thought, okay, if we can provide a golf analysis app, maybe that could help us not only earn another revenue stream for our company, but also improve someone's handicap. Based on that, we have created the Alpha Swing. The Alpha Swing not only detects the body motion, but what the most important part of it is, which I will come to later, is also we are able to track a golf ball, which is that small, in a almost instantaneous speed of 200 kilometers per hour over a distance of 80 meters. Why 80 meters? Because after that, nobody sees it, neither our eyes nor the mobile device, right? So we are tracking not only the ball itself and the body movement and the golf movement, but in real time, we are also putting and stitching that information together to understand if you hit bad, what happened, why you hit bad, why did the ball flew there where it flew, and how can you improve yourself based on your previous either good golf swings or maybe golf swings from a professional, which swings like you. Also adding a couple of interesting stuff like augmented reality overlays. My CDO says it's not augmented reality, but for me it is, right? So trying to understand the motion and also where the ball flies. Why is it AI? So basically, there are a couple of things that we're using there. First of all, computer vision, which is needed for the movement tracking. Secondly, what we are also doing is we are recognizing each and every swing to understand when someone really hit a ball or when someone just did a practice swing. We record every swing in real time in slow motion so you can analyze your own swing. But also what we are using here is very important. It's also AI for sound analysis. I don't know if anybody has heard of that, but with analyzing data, it's actually in German said scheißegal for the AI. What you analyze, if it pictures big data or sounds, everything is data. So that's a very important key point, which I'll come to later. And going further, like I think we have always enough ideas. What we have done is there we have combined two devices with each other, and from that on we are providing a 3D biomechanical analysis of the movement, which we have tested in the University of Munich with them having over, I think it was around about 14 cameras, high-speed cameras, and have tested them against our solution. And the difference is about 0.8 millimeters, where we had different results on that. I don't know if any techies are here or people that understand a bit of computer development but the most important here thing is definitely Python, which we're using. So I would encourage everybody to learn Python right after the Bible. Uh, um, in order to get better information, we are also using C and C++ to get directly contact to the hardware of the device in real time. So here actually see what we have done for the city of Munich at that moment. We have provided an analysis where the people get hurt mostly driving a bicycle, either hitting other people or being in different dangerous situations with cars. And we have run that information over our backend in order to provide the most dangerous spots in Munich for the streets to be broader or to be in two lanes, split up. Coming to business, right? So where do we earn money with AI? So basically, I had a discussion with the CEO of Adidas, which said we have $1 billion problem. The problem is you are, or not you, some people might order shoes online and then send them back due to different sizes. So the size recognition was a very big problem for them due to sending the shipping or shipping the items back. Based on that, we have created a solution for them, which provides for the foot fetishes here, which provides a recognition not only of the foot, but also of the actual size and the curvature, right? With the distinction and accuracy of about 98.9%. So that's pretty accurate. That's a bit more accurate as going to the shoe store. And if you want to have kids and have kids, you would know what that's a pain in the ass going with two kids, which run around to find what their actual size is. So we had that pain. So basically what I said previously, during my whole startup career, which I've been doing now over 20 years right now, I've understood you have to be very flexible, not only to the market demands, but also to understanding where the technology is going to. And based, like I showed you previously, based on I'll get that out because like you look at feet at the whole time. So based on that, as a matter of fact, having a small company helps us a lot to be very flexible and pivoting from fitness into physiotherapy, into other sports kinds, and adopting the technology very fast. Anybody heard what happened a couple of days ago in Munich airport?
They feed drones in the airport, no?
Right, exactly. Very good. So basically, what happened, and this happens right now each and every week in the major airports of Europe, there are being drones sighted, which are not allowing planes to start. And that's a big problem. That's a big problem not only for the industry, but also for the people that want to travel somewhere and not able to. Speaking of pivots, and that's a pivot what we have done. We've been approached a couple of times by a certain industry, which I was actually not a big fan of. But since things have shifted in Europe since a couple of years, we were very fast to adopt our technology. And what we are now doing is basically adapting our golf technology to another industry. Any guesses in which industry we are adapting our golf sport to? Cricket is a good guess. Yeah. Baseball, maybe. We had a couple of that solutions also. So cricket, I basically understand you're from India. Yeah, okay. Makes sense. Any other guesses? I beg your pardon? Paddle is a good sport. We didn't do that. Tennis. That's a great guess. So basically, you're all thinking of balls flying around. Makes sense due to our technology. But as some of you here sitting will probably approach an entrepreneurial career and start an own business. It could be building something that's lovable, it could be building something else, but I want to encourage you always to think out of the box. So what we are actually transforming our AI technology or ball tracking technology is to something else, and that's to defense. Tracking golf balls makes no other sense as tracking drones that are flying very fast, that are unpredictable, and getting that trajectory. So as Patrick already said, it's not only sport what motivates us, but also the security of us and our families. And I never thought I would speak so open about this, but defense has become something that we are also working since a couple of months right now from providing drone trajectory recognition and also prediction where the drone would be at the moment where it should be hit at. Based on that, we have founded Austringer, which will be something like a drone recognition and shooting drone solution based on the borders of Europe, based on critical infrastructures of Europe, and basically everywhere where a drone could cause harm. This has been a problem since 2019 as Aramco, one of the biggest companies at that moment, or one of the biggest companies at this moment, providing oil and products from oil, wanted to go public. And a couple of weeks before they went public, they were hit by a drone attack, which cost them not only millions in losses, but I think that's not a big problem for Aramco, but also billions of losses because they couldn't go due to this situation. So the solution would be providing trajectory information not only to shooting units, but also guarding vehicles, guarding infrastructure, and providing signals about incoming drones, providing signals when those drones would be predicted to be at the spot, and having a counter-drone measure system. And as I said, sound is also a very important thing because understanding the sound signature, you can see a drone, but you can see it, hear it faster as you see it, basically. We are providing a fusion technology of different kinds of AI, I would say. So first of all, basically the technology which we have adopted from our golf technology into the defense technology, and also hearing the drones, reading that specific drone signature from an incoming drone, understanding how fast it's flying by analyzing this sound in real time and providing accurate data where it would be in a couple of seconds. So basically, if anybody is interested in having questions, I would love to answer them. Right. So please go ahead. The cricket guy, please. Go
I'd
ahead.
like to ask what type of privacy concerns you heard from your clients and your customers when you're doing the physiotherapy and also.
You don't want to hear that. So basically, I've heard everything. So our support has given me tickets, like everything from over you're an American spy, which is looking at how my interior is looking at, and going over to people asking if they have trained in their underwear, if we are storing that data somewhere. So one major point, and like I said, I would give you a couple of life-based or life hacks. If you want to start a startup, go to a big company first, at least for 6 months. What you are doing here means a lot, but if you want to understand how big companies are working and how big businesses are working, you have to have that experience. So why am I telling you that? Based on the experience that I had in that big company, we understood from the beginning the architecture of our solution should be on device only without any internet. We have had to get that golf solution running around about 2.5 to 3 years research and development to get that everything running on device in real time without any internet connection, but with the recognition of that. I'll get back to you right now. I see he's the second, you're the third, okay? And based on that, having that experience, we understood that would be a big issue. maybe not in the US or North America, but in Europe due to GDPR compliance. So that was a solution where we had as one of our FAQs on our website saying your data is staying on your device and nowhere else. So I hope I answered your question. Please.
The detection of the golf ball
Yeah.
is hitting me a bit. How do you manage to do that? Because like, especially in 80 meters, the golf ball is 1 or 2 pixels or what?
Yeah.
How do you detect something with the daily background with blue sky or a white cloud? How do you manage to do that? Especially how to do that in real time?
That's a very good question. That's a very, very good question because basically we need that time to get that running. So what you have said is everything right. So different backgrounds matter. Also the 2 pixels where I said 80 meters, at some point the human eye does not see the ball flying, but the camera does. And I'm happy we have a couple of rocket scientists in our company, which are using some, I don't know, space calculations. I have no idea what they're doing. They're way smarter than I am, but that's why you're here, sitting here to learn that everything. So basically, there's all a saying, shit in, shit out, and that applies also to data. And as much data comes in and you retrain your model, the more information you get and the more accurate you get. So we had a very interesting case. Basically, we have been training with video data from Munich and around Munich, rain, snow, fog, daylight, morning, evening, having all that data being trained. One of our workers was actually from Argentina. And he flew to Argentina and he calls us and says, the app does not work, no recognition. And we didn't understand why. And this is why thinking out of the box helps a lot, because you would not understand why. The sun, where Argentina is shining from, I have no idea what they have figured out, but that's what I got as an explanation. It shines from another direction. And all of the trained ball data was on the upper hemisphere of our Earth. Argentina is on. How the hell would you figure that out being in Munich and having done 2 years of development? No chance, right? So we had to retrain the model once again because the shade of the sun was going in another angle and it was recognized more with an accuracy of 70% it was an egg and to 7% it was a golf ball, right? So that's the second part.
How do you get around possible hardware limitations or lower-end devices that
you won't. Also a very practical question, you won't. You can get WhatsApp running on an old Nokia or Motorola. You have to understand that. So basically our solutions run on an iPhone 11 or better, but still gives you like 5-6 years backwards, right? And we just hope the people that play golf don't have an old Nokia. On this solution, Apple only, but it's a practical issue actually. So it was a math game, which we had understood that 80% of people playing golf are using an iPhone. It makes economically no sense for us to develop something for an Android. But Android is very difficult to develop on because you have different sizes, different operating systems. Like you have everything different. An iPhone, you have everything standardized. So that's a big pain in the ass building something for both platforms natively. So if you go like with Flutter or something, it might work, but the technology which we have running on real time, you won't get that on Flutter with their libraries. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 questions. First one is, how do you generate your improvement tips?
Improvement, what?
Tips, recommendations. So what for these fitness exercises.
For the fitness exercises.
The
Right. So we have a library of perfect executions, which we train on. And basically we understand how a perfect execution would look like. At the beginning, we've actually hired, she was a doctor, a very smart girl. she still is a smart girl, obviously. And it was a very interesting case because as she had her promotion, was getting her doctor title, at the same time, she was a professional kickboxer. So it made sense because she understood something from both worlds, right? And the rules that she has created at that moment were not possible for a normal human being to actually evaluate. So she had perfect execution in her mind, be something what probably 5 people in this world would be able to execute. And you also have to understand providing a solution is not always providing a perfect solution, but a solution that would work for someone with a small belly or someone with maybe less weight. For example, a normal push-up could not be performed by like 60 or 70% of female users that we had. It's physically not possible. It's not because they're weak or not weak. It's because of the body and how it works. So in that case, we had to replace the normal push-ups with the adjusted push-ups on the knees, for example. But to get a perfect execution of an exercise and tell the person that is doing that exercise. That comes back to the other question. Why does UI and UX matters, right? It's about using the app and that the solution helps you personally. It's not about having a perfect athlete. It's about showing the results that someone has gotten better. And that's the actual case. So getting back to your question, that was like a very large circle. Getting back to your question, we have trained the models of a perfect execution and where the person is at right now. And each and every step, we're not saying you have to be perfect to 100%. We're showing the improvement of them in real time.
Yeah, but you met
5, 6.
you met the actual pose with the perfect pose, and then you look at the deviation.
It's a bit more harder than that. And going back each and every movement, it depends. Like if you're 1 meter and 80 and you're athletic, then your perfect execution would be perfect, for example, just like it will be perfect for someone who is 170 with a slightly other body, slightly out of the bother, right? So you cannot say this person, we have different data sets saying, okay, female and male, we have them all split up in age, for example, also, and also about the body composition is a very important point.
Okay, yeah.
Second question.
My second question was, when and why did you decide to switch to defense?
Why did I decide to switch? I was approached by the defense companies, bigger defense companies, a couple of years ago, maybe 4 years ago, before everything with the security issue in Europe started. And I was against it. Let's say when I understand that I can achieve security, and that's something that I can achieve easier than other people, and that brings more sense to what I'm doing, then I take that decision. At the moment where I firstly said I don't want to go into that kind of business, because as we discussed it, it's somewhere between porn and cigarettes, like porn and alcohol. That's the interpretation of people that hear about defense or have heard about it previously. At the moment where you have a family or the people around you should be safer, you think differently. It's like when you get beaten up in the 6th grade, you think, maybe I should go boxing, right? So that was actually, it was more, it's not an economical issue, I guess. It was more like thinking about 2, 3 years in the future. Okay?
Yeah, thank you.
Which one? Both are sleeping, you go ahead. Yes.
Used by those two or all the images?
By everybody. By everybody. So basically, right. So basically it's used by everybody. But the pros don't want to use it because most of the things which we apply, they already know. So it's like that's another level, right? You can be like a professor of mathematics and be reading like a math book from the 10th grade, right? We're actually applying the Pareto principle here. We're trying to get rid of the biggest mistakes. And when someone is at that stage, when he can get a personal coach, I'm not against personal coaches. On the contrary, I think the interaction between person and coach should be always there because it's a human part. But when the coach is not there, you can use that. Second question.
Like, or it would be like this, said that pros don't like to use it. Did you think about maybe using it for analyzing how injuries occur? So you can maybe track in a, for example, football game.
Yeah.
You would see if, for example, the knee was a bit too wide to the right or something, and then you can analyze where the problem comes from. Maybe you thought about this one.
One of the thoughts, one of the 100,000 thoughts what we had, and that's also a feedback we, for example, got from the German, how do you call it? German something for sport, right? Where we also are part of. To be honest with you, and I'm trying to be as honest as possible, I'm the CEO and the founder, and we are privately funded. We have no investors from other side. So I'm just following the money where I can grow most and where I can provide the biggest impact. So what you're saying makes sense, definitely, and that's a good thing to go with. But if there's no money to be earned, it's more like a charity thing. Okay.
For the mobile app,
Would you please speak a bit higher, a bit louder?
Since you said focusing on iPhone because it's sensible in the market, but it's also more like comfortable for you to develop if you know the specifications of the devices used with it.
Exactly.
In the drone defense thing, do you also like work with partners, for example, in microphones, so you can rely on specific specifications and sell a package deal with a partner, or in that case, are you more like just the software solution and give out recommendations? The microphones, for example, should be this to this range of specifications for best results, but whatever hardware you use should be.
So basically, we are right now defining the right hardware, and we will build the hardware ourselves. And provide a end-to-end product. So that's the way to go. I like your question because we have really right now we are testing out different hardware solutions. First of all, because we have to test them not only in the lab in Munich, but also outside, right? So that's a big issue actually for us. We have a couple of solutions for that, but like I said, first of all, there are no bad questions, there are only bad answers, right? And secondly, if someone is open-minded, I don't care how old that person is. I don't care what experience that person has. If someone brings his thoughts and they sound more, if that's a question that we haven't asked ourselves previously, then that's a very good person for us. So each and every question or advice is helpful. In any case, not only in our defense solution, but also in golf. Like I said previously, I like the idea with the person not hurting themselves, right? So if anybody has any advices and any ideas, I'm very open, as we're hardware or microelectronic or software based. You can take a photo of my contacts and write me personally. Oh, we have one more question up there, right? No, you have to. I think I saw your hand, so you have to ask a question. I'm just kidding. Thank you, everybody. Anybody else have questions? No more questions? I'm not scaring you, all right? So like, who has a question? So thank you very much.